speakers in the room requesting to speak? Perfect. Nilu is connecting. I see Aaron is also requesting. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Dear Futureverse Basecamp teams, I see you in the audience. Please request to speak so we can bring you in on the stage. Aaron is connecting. I see Alex is requesting. Adam is requesting. Hira is requesting. Amazing, amazing, amazing. And welcome, welcome everybody. We'll be starting shortly, just making sure everybody finds their way to the stage. I'm gonna send some speaker invites myself. All right, we almost have everyone in the room. And welcome, welcome to our dear audience in today's Twitter Spaces, growing with the Futureverse ecosystem. Exciting day and an exciting conversation ahead of us. For any Futureverse Basecamp teams in the audience, please make sure to request to speak. All right, we'll be kicking off shortly. And I think we need to resend a speaker request to Aaron. All right, resending it now. And that should send us on our merry way. Can everyone hear me okay? Do not hesitate, say hello. We're just working out some technical kinks, but we can slowly get moving.
Yeah, I can hear you fine, Blake, if you can
Hello,
hear me.
is that better?
Perfect, I can hear you loud and clear,
Loud
Adam.
and clear, Blake. Over and out.
Loud and clear.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Awesome.
we can hear you. Like,
Great.
so clear.
All right, amazing. I think we have everybody. All right, let's get rolling. Twitter Spaces, X Spaces, whatever we decide to call it, growing with the Futureverse ecosystem. So we have quite a conversation for our dear audience today. And maybe I'm going to start to kind of frame the conversation better and some high level introductions. And of course, we'll deep dive into each one of the amazing founders on the line today. But we also have some superstars with us. We have Aaron McDonald, the co founder of Futureverse and Born Ready, a board member and advisor to more than a dozen of venture companies. So maybe to kick off the conversation, I do need to acknowledge and congratulate you, Aaron, on the amazing announcement that recently came out. I'm just maybe gonna tease it
I'm here, by the way.
and not say too much because I think it's best coming from you. But I think the recent announcement about Open, the triple A game under the Rediverse umbrella game experience, I would call it an experience. It's of huge importance to the broader gaming and metaverse ecosystem. Here at Outlier Ventures, we've been huge supporters of Futureverse from early on, and it's because our values are very much aligned. We both believe in the concept of the open metaverse, all digital spaces interconnected that start at a data layer and kind of permeate through decentralized compute and are at its core are user centric and optimized for user onboarding. And of course, that exciting announcement also features other portfolio companies that contribute to this amazing project, which is Walker World. And here at Outlier Ventures, we always do our best to drive portfolio collaborations. So, to kick off, Aaron, again, congratulations, and would love to hear from you maybe a bit more about the announcement. We're going to deep dive into it later in the space. And I would also love to hear from you. Right now, the root network, the chain of the Futureverse ecosystem, is riding the wave of its amazing success. To kick off the discussion, I would love to hear from you and maybe outline to our audience what do you find are the core success drivers of the root network, as we know it, TRN.
Yeah, thanks, man, and thanks for the very kind introduction. I don't think I'm a superstar at all. I'm just a builder out here trying to make a difference in the world. Um, we were extremely excited to get this trailer out, and as you rightly pointed out, another collaboration between Outlier portfolio companies, which I think is something that is starting to become a pattern. We announced earlier or later last year the Crucible and Emergence partnership and investment as well, and so that's another portfolio company coming into the mix, and all the three of those will be working together when we get Open out into the wild. So really exciting times. Open being the first AAA gaming experience with AAA IP being built on Web3 technology is, I think, both exciting and a big responsibility. And teams kind of being, I guess, working up to this moment for over a year now, to set out there in the wild and to get the reception that we've got has been amazing. And we're being very deliberate about going out there and calling it open so that we can genuinely show the world the power of Web3 in gaming. I think one of the things that has let down the entire community is the notion of Web3 gaming not really delivering on the promise that it has for, and the potential that it has for consumers. And I think a lot of that comes down to the fact that Web3 is focused on ownership without giving the keys to users to drive that car, which is interoperability. Having ownership with no interoperability is like owning a dog that can only live in your neighbor's garage. It's kind of pointless. And so that's really what the root network's all about, is building the protocols and the data layer for interoperability, so that the promise of Web3 gaming can actually come to life through a whole host of experiences, including open. And you look at the stack now that kind of has come together around Futureverse and the root network. I think you can start to see the whole picture, where we have, at the core of this, the anchor of it all is the root network, and on top of that, we're building protocols that create interoperability, powered by Silo for the data and social layer, and Asto for the intelligence layer. On top of that, we build the tools that enable that content creation. So these are things like DOT, our dynamic object transformer, so the pipelines for creating those interoperable characters. Doc, which is the dynamic object creator. This is the 3D AI generation tool that people can now leverage to, as a consumer, to create game-ready 3D assets that are interoperable. And Gen, for generating the music and sounds to make these worlds come alive. And then on top of that, a host of experiences, but really kind of the flagship for consumer activations will be based around Open and the Readyverse as our kind of tent peg for mass consumer adoption. So put all of that together, and you've got a very powerful ecosystem and set of tools, and the chance to really demonstrate to the world what the open metaverse really means. And really excited to kind of be at this time and at this moment to be able to do that.
Amazing, amazing. And I have to say, I saw some of what the tech can do in a demonstration and XRPL event in Amsterdam, and it just totally blew me away. I also love your metaphor about the dog that can only live in your neighbor's garage in context of interoperability. The example I usually go for is I am sending you a Christian Dior suit, but with a contract that you can only wear it in your toilet. So I think
Yeah, exactly.
all right, perfect. So maybe enough with the ample metaphors for interoperability. But yes, so here at Outlier Ventures, we try to drive those synergies between portfolio, Futureverse, Walker World, and of course, Crucible, as you mentioned. And to scale up that friendship with Futureverse, we set forth this amazing initiative, Futureverse Basecamp. Seven amazing teams, amazing builders, each one driving basically a different use case, but all of them united behind this common vision of the open metaverse. That program received a record breaking 500 applications. So, with 1.4 admission rate, the program is harder to get into than Harvard University. So maybe with that in mind, that's a perfect segue to start introducing some of our teams that will also tell us a bit more about their plans to grow with the Futureverse ecosystem as you are of this on this amazing scale-up trajectory. And of course, Aaron, if you want to chime in on their plans and maybe give them some other extra ideas, never hesitate to grab the mic. Some because we love all of our portfolio equally. I'm going to go in alphabetical order, and I'm going to start with Introverse, gaming as a service platform for user acquisition, engagement, and retention through cross community gamified experiences. Zoe, Mortis, are you with us? Grab the mic and to say hello to our audience. Tell us a bit more about yourself.
GM, what's up? What's up, everyone? How you doing, Blake?
Oh, Gucci.
Amazing.
GM, welcome.
Thank you guys for having me in the space. I want to do some housekeeping helping Blake. So guys, in the bottom right corner you have a purple bead, and it's purple for me, baby. Maybe it's another color for you, but get sure that you click on that and you share the space and tag your friends, tag your mom, tag your dad, tag everyone. Like, we are building in public here. We are talking about some cool shit in collaboration with Outlier Venture and Futureverse. And this is Zoe, co-founder of Introverse, CEO, but there is also the COO, Mortis, my co-founder behind the PFP of Introverse. Mortis, are you there? I'm not sure if he's...
Yeah. Hello, everyone. How are you doing?
Mortis is probably drinking something with friends. I'm not sure if he's going to talk, but um, welcome and thank you to having me here. Introverse is a gaming as a service platform, as Blake introduced, and we are actually taking care about engagement, especially, but also user acquisition and retention, so loyalty of NFT collections, brands, IPs, games. And so far, we are having such an amazing experience with Outlier Venture. We got a real boost, guys, and I couldn't ask for anything better than these. It's probably interesting to consider this program not only $100,000, but it's like $300,000, because the expertise of people and all the G's that are working in Outlier Venture really blew my mind away. Honestly, I met some of the most amazing people there. Not mentioning also that I'm really enjoying all the other startups in the batch. We are like having a great synergy, helping each other. It's a sort of a second family, if I can say it. And so far, we are so happy about the results as well. We are going forward really smoothly. It's been one of the best choices so far in Introverse to get into this acceleration program. And we are also deep diving with Connor. I don't know if Connor is tuned inside the space, but I would really like to say thank you to Connor, because he's helping us to develop cool stuff inside Futureverse, and we are getting in touch with projects that are already inside Futureverse. We would really like to we would really like to bring to life some of our experiences inside Futureverse and bring our communities there, because there's so much that they are offering and it's so engaging, so it's really a great match for us. And yeah, so far I think I've said everything, but I'm really in love with everyone, literally, with Blake and Robert and everyone, Onika, Andy, Regine, everyone really is like unique and gave us, best advices. And yeah, I'm getting emotional, guys. I'm kind of sad it's going to finish soon, like in the mid of April, right? Like,
Yes, indeed. We love you too. And yeah, I think this is before we move on to the next theme. Thank you, Zoe, for this. A big shout out to Connor from Futureverse. And also, a big part of the program is the ecosystem of mentors that is formed around the program. A lot of super experienced funders, investors, connectors, amazing people in the space that all contribute to the success of the teams you're seeing here today. And I see some mentor faces in the audience. So loads of love and a big shout out. All right. Thank you, Zoe. Moving on to the next theme for an intro. Gym Vibe, the inaugural product of Lifelike Digital to enable everyone to access the benefits of spatial web-based AI-powered personal trainer. Carl, can you hear us? Are you with us?
Hi there. Hi, kia ora. I'm Carl from New Zealand. It's great to be here. I just want to plus everything that Zoe just said. It's just been an amazing ride, really wild, and just a massive eye opener. And everyone at Outlier and Futureverse has just been amazing. It's just been a really wild ride. We're developing digital human technology for the metaverse. So what that means is we're creating AI-powered avatars that have a depth of personality and behave in natural ways. So the first product we're going for is called Gym Vibe, which is a digital personal trainer platform in AR, so specifically for XR devices such as the Meta Quest and Apple Vision. So when you put on the headset, it's like you can actually see the digital personal trainer right in your living room or virtually wherever, and interact with them as you would a real personal trainer. What does that mean for Web3 and other decentralized technology? There's two kind of key pieces, and that's the AR or XR or spatial computing, whatever you want to call that, and then the digital humans. That's the piece of it that we're bringing to it.
Yo, what's up,
So,
DJ Toasty? I'm working on bringing a meme guy next Friday. Meme guy next Friday.
The digital world is coming into the real world. We're blending digital with reality. Right now, a lot of people are still thinking of it as a digital layer on top of the physical world, but it's actually going to be far more mixed than that, and it's going to be more and more blended together as we integrate digital, decentralized technology. So to really appreciate what that means, we need to step away from our desks and look at real world behaviors. And I think both Aaron and you, Blake, touched on, some metaphors there. And, it's like, similar to like owning a pair of Nikes and wanting to go into an Adidas store. No one's going to bounce you at the door because you're their users, right? You're their customers. So it's very similar to that. And with digital humans, it's the same thing in XR. It's like, our personal trainers are coming into your space, right? So it's they're kind of like guests in your home, and because you're at home, you've got all your stuff laying around, and you should be able to use it the same as you would your real stuff. So your digital stuff should be available. You should be able to use it and mix it up however you want. So yeah, currently, that's the opportunity that Futureverse is creating for companies like Lifelike Digital, and we want to like integrate all of it. It's all on our roadmap, starting with FuturePass and moving into swappables, generative music, AI, and just really mixing it up, and there's no limit to it really. So yeah, we're super excited about the opportunity here.
No limits to the opportunity indeed. And Carl, let me just tell you, ever since I mentioned Gym Vibe to my personal trainer, he is having anxiety attacks about being replaced by your tech.
No, no, I think that's a common thing, and we're not replacing anything or anyone. We're just creating other options for people so that, it's just creating more flexibility and being able to work in your own space or on your own schedule. But yeah, it's all just about expanding.
And I think also for trainers and personalities and celebrities, there's the opportunity for them to, extend how many people they can support.
Absolutely,
if you've got great content and you can only do a certain number of personal, sessions as a trainer, well, now you can scale yourself, or or if you want to work out with your favorite celebrity, and we bring those celebrities into this type of content, and you can do that too. So I think it's kind of extending possibilities rather than replacing people.
Yeah, that's actually a better way to put it. Absolutely, it's all about scalability. So just putting your brand out there 24/7 working for you. Yeah, that's massive opportunity.
Great point. And also working out when we travel, right? Which is always a challenge. So I think that's an amazing segue to
what's
introduce
going
the
on,
next
Dolly?
team. Mint Pass, a recommend to earn app, rewarding a community of travelers for sharing their recommendations, incentivizing a global travel companion ecosystem. Sam, Aaron, are
these
you
guys
with
are giving
us? The
travel
stage is yours for the
rewards.
taking.
Well, that was very smooth, Blake. GM. Love the segue from working out. I was a personal trainer in another life, so I've been following the lifelike journey this entire time. So it's awesome to see that all come together. So Mint Pass is a travel companion app. Our entire spiel is that we don't want to take away from that travel experience. A lot of the competitors we see in the space are in the travel space specifically. You'll go on your trip and then you'll have to take hours out of your day to make sure it's logging the location correctly. It'll get exactly where you are. And that's just not fun. If you're traveling, you're going there to enjoy the experience. So we want to be there with you and make it easier for you to log those experiences so you can recommend them to others and then not take away from that actual travel experience. So we're in alpha right now, kind of segueing into our beta, and we're hoping to go live next month. We've got some cool gamification on the platform as well. My background prior to this in yet another life, I used to play games for money, so I'm a big gamification advocate because if it could hook me enough to make it so that I was making a slight career out of it, I think building it into ecosystems is awesome, and that's sort of where Web3 screams to me. Where we can gamify things so much easier and with some of the tech that's out here. And so we have a traveler score. So as you travel and make recommendations, that traveler score goes up. And we'll obviously find ways to make it so that you want that traveler score to go up outside of just appearing on the leaderboard. As of right now, if you want to try to get into the beta a little bit sooner than other people, you can sign up on our wait list. And that's over at mintpass.com. So we're pretty excited to be building on Root Network. So we're going to be taking advantage of some of the tech that they've built out. So I get to save time and make features rather than build out some infrastructure like FuturePass. So even if you don't have a wallet, you can get on. And we're obviously targeting avid travelers, and a lot of us in Web3 travel all the time. So if you're going to be at any of these upcoming Web3 events, feel free to reach out. I'll be speaking at NFT New York. I think my co-founder here, Sam, will be. Sam would be on right now chatting, but he's traveling, so he's eating the dog food. So we're getting some awesome feedback from him, and we'd love, if you're an avid traveler, to reach out. We'd love to get some feedback from you as well.
I don't think anybody eats badly when they travel.
Building your personal experiences, building out your story, traveling across many locations. And I think, again, if you excuse a segue, that's a great introduction for New Canon, leveraging advanced AI for co-creative storytelling to generate lore-consistent characters, locations, quests, and dialogues in gaming and entertainment. Nilu, please take it away.
Hey, Blake. Thanks for the intro. Hey, I'm Nilu. I'm the founder and CEO of New Canon. So, with the intro, we basically are building a game design tool to build lore consistent worlds and stories. So, the metaverse is a massively promising opportunity.
This guy could read me stories.
Drawbacks we keep seeing again and
The
again.
medieval
Community
times.
engagement
I'd kill it.
on metaverses aren't super well crafted at the moment, and that's because a lot of the fact is to do with the community lore of metaverses, and community engagements is quite not there yet. So what we are building is a platform using like vector databases and graph databases to help game designers build more lore consistent worlds, which they can just hand off to their communities to keep creating really strong narratives and arcs and devices within established guardrails and frameworks of their world. And we're integrating a lot with Futureverse. They actually gave us two super cool game designers that we're talking to and building product out with right now. So they've been really helpful in that. And also, what do you call it? Like, we're going to be integrating a lot with their like specific game design tools like Doc and Document Object, and also the DOT, and also Gen AI for music as well. So there's going to be a lot of integrations with TRN and Root Network, and there's going to be a lot of like branching narrative arcs and branching storylines in the worlds we create, which will be really powerful for the metaverses that and the open metaverse that Futureverse wants to create.
Amazing, amazing. And today I basically almost missed a meeting because I was playing with new tech. So very excited for the things to come from New Canon. What an experience it is. And Aaron made a great point about finding, a better experience for all of those users and delivering. So based on that, Plurality Network connects Web to social data with Web3 accounts that users selectively share with decentralized apps for a fully personalized experience. And Hira, I would love to hear from you, our superstar builder.
Yeah. Hello. Hi, I'm Hira. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Plurality. But first, I want to explain why we call our product Plurality. So, plurality basically represents plural aspects of a human personality. So, as humans, every one of us has different personas and we act differently in different contexts. For example, here in this Twitter space, we are acting differently, but as soon as we shut down this Twitter space, go back to our homes, we'll act completely differently because we have these different personas. And similarly, when we use internet, these different personas manifest as profiles. For example, on Twitter, you act differently. On LinkedIn, you act more professionally. On Instagram, you maybe act more personally. These are manifestations of our personas. But if you see how Web3 is currently, Web3 only has wallets, and Web3 has no concept of a profile. And because of that, there is no user context. And because there is no user context, the dApps don't even know how to engage their users. And therefore, Web3 has user retention problem. They cannot engage their users because they just don't know what this specific hash address really wants, because it's just a hash address. They don't know what is the human behind this wallet. So we at Plurality, we are creating a social context layer which would enable smart profiles. And using these smart profiles, users would be able to plug their different profiles into different dApps across any platform, across any blockchain. And by using the information from these profiles, the dApps would be able to get rid of their cold start problem and provide users with a better engaging experience. And this actually aligns perfectly with the Futureverse concept of open metaverse as well, because just like assets should be able to be interoperable across different platforms, similarly humans or profiles should also be pluggable across different apps. And like uh, for the past few years, we've always been talking about infrastructure, but if now, like since last year, we've all been talking about like social fi or social platforms or games or immersive experiences. But there is a huge piece of the puzzle that's missing, and that's actually profiles. So yeah, that's what we're building.
Profiles.
Amazing.
Nice.
And coming from a world-class builder, Hira. All right, lovely. Moving on, I would love to introduce the next team, and the team that spices up the experience. Team Rect Infrastructure to build user-generated wagering.
This is the one that's gotten the most social traction for the community.
With the help of machine learning technology. Alex, the stage is yours.
Yeah, hi everyone. Alex from Rect is here. Yeah, thanks for having me, and I love to be here today. So, Rect actually is a platform for all on-chain wagering stuff with user behavior and user-generated markets. So it's like a wager on gaming, on social activities, make predictions, or create your own markets. And I would say our goal actually is to become a one-stop wagering destination for all Futureverse and Root ecosystem.
Did the space die, or is it just me?
Oh no, Aaron rugged. Oh no.
I think all good, but I think Twitter is X is a bit glitchy today. So
yeah,
hopefully it should be back to stability in a matter of seconds.
Maybe it's because we call it Twitter still.
We could place bets on how many seconds.
Wagers.
Yeah. Good. So let me.
The only wager that counts right now is going to have to be a matchup between Banana King and Hot Dog King.
Okay.
In the next Legends or in Grumble.
I'll try to prepare a wager for the next X space in case we will get interrupt. Okay. So, and let me continue. And our goal is actually to become a one-stop wagering destination for all Futureverse and rooted network ecosystems. And I would say we actually already started working on it. We are about to release our first, I would say second MVP on the forecaster ecosystem. But I hope in early April, we will be able to showcase the results from the collab with Futureverse. So give us some time to cook, and very soon we will drop a banger for the community, for all communities, for Rect, for Outlier Ventures, and for Futureverse, of course.
All right, amazing. Looking forward to you dropping that banger. And that will create a spark that will ignite the fire. So talking about sparks, Spark integrates crypto and traditional finance.
They wrote out these
making it
segues
easy
ahead
to
of
build
time.
Customer payments flow that work across chains and with any token without needing expensive blockchain developers. Adam, can you hear us? Do you have the mic ready?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. No
Take
one
it away,
does
my friend.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, no one does the smooth intros better than you, Jake. Blake, you're a pro. So yeah, I'm Adam. Spark. We're working on some of the hard problems in crypto payments. So basically improving the experience so users don't have to worry about what chain they're on or what token they have. We're probably most well known for handling the $28 million Portal Coin ICO sale. So our MVP made that into a multi-chain mint where people could pay in whatever currency they wanted, really. People often assume that gaming mints are always on ETH, but actually they took 3 million in Solana that day. And it shows you if you clear away the barriers and you just make it easy for people to give you money, you acquire more users and you make more cash that way. So it's a good MVP.
Remember,
for us,
they're after your cash.
We have 20 other games and metaverse experiences and physical stores as well we're working with. And Futureverse is super exciting for us. So we're working with Connor and the other guys there to bring that kind of interoperability and flexibility to that ecosystem. We've already added Root to our checkout, so anyone using a spot checkout could pay with Root.
I didn't know
regardless
that.
of the chain they're on already, and that's just kind of the start. Like we're talking to them about all these different gaming experiences you might have feasibly on that platform, and just how to make all that work smoothly for the user. And that's a really hot topic. So I go on a lot of like Web3 gaming spaces, and all we ever actually talk about on those things is user experience and payments and onboarding. And that shows kind of how early we are in that space. Like really, I'm just the boring guy from the infrastructure company. Like I shouldn't even get invited on, but that's all.
Nothing
really
insane yet,
about.
Steve.
And,
no.
Hopefully we make some progress in the coming years and we start talking about more about the games and the actual metaverse experiences.
It's more of like a primer.
So one of the reasons we first wanted to come on the program was actually not just because I love the Ready Player One book, but really that ethos that Futureverse have around the openness of the ecosystem. It's very much a good fit with what Spark are building and what we kind of want to achieve through what we do. So we're really excited to work with these guys. I've personally got a really big passion for Web3 gaming and the metaverse as well. I spend a lot of time playing all the new stuff that's coming out this year. And my other co-founders are always like, bro, don't forget Spark needs to work for real world, like bike shops and flower shops as well. And I'm just like, nah, like these guys will all just be building digital items in the metaverse anyway. Don't worry about those guys. But thank you very much for having me. Look forward to hearing from everyone today.
Yeah, and Adam, it's not boring at all to be solving usability issues. I think that's the most exciting thing we can be doing in Web3.
Amazing. And I might have my way with intros, but Adam, you just gave me an amazing segue. So I want to throw the mic back to Aaron because the open experience under the Readyverse umbrella, it's underpinned by the iconic IP of Ready Player One that hugely influenced the mainstream perception of what open metaverse could look like. There are big names being thrown around and a lot of star power behind it. Aaron, could you share more? I think everybody.
Yeah, leak it. What's going on? Tell us everything.
Sorry, what was the question, Blake? You just cut out a bit there.
Of course. So I said, that the Ready Player One franchise influenced the way mainstream perceives how an open metaverse could look like. And there is a lot of things brewing, big names, brand names being thrown around, a lot of star power behind it. Can you maybe share more? I think everybody is eager to hear more about the open experience, if you can share, of course.
Yeah, I think the things that we can share is that it's all developing very well, and the minute we put out the announcement, we started to get a lot of inbound from studios and IP holders and talent who wanted to be a part of what we're building, and that's only really continued to build since then. We just came back from a few days at South by Southwest where we premiered the trailer of Open, and that has again ignited another fuse for more IP, more talent, more brands to come and try and work out how we can collaborate with them. If you go to the Readyverse website, you can see now there's kind of three core product value propositions there. Open, which we've talked a lot about, is one of those. Where you can start to have integrate IP or brand experiences or kind of gamified consumer engagement inside of Open as a premier kind of open world environment. But I think one of the most exciting things that we're doing hasn't got quite the same amount of attention, but it will start to over time. And you can go and have a little bit of a preview or overview of the Readyverse launcher. Those who've been following the Futureverse ecosystem, you would have seen us experimenting with this with the release of the next Legends Muhammad Ali AI-powered boxing game, and shortly the Races AI-powered karts game, showing how we can start to aggregate gaming content. The story of Ready Player One is this story of a world where interoperability exists and you can jump from experience to experience. And so a key to building the open metaverse on one hand is providing these tent poles like Open that can bring consumers in to the ecosystem, but we wouldn't be doing our job if we weren't enabling every independent developer out there who's building in this space to have a platform to discover users and connect those experiences in an interoperable way. And so the Readyverse experience, which we'll start to share a little bit more about, I think is going to be a very exciting opportunity. There really isn't a home for the open metaverse in Web3 for immersive experiences, and there's no better IP to bring that together and make it something that consumers want to engage with than Ready Player One. So we're excited to unveil what that means and show how that experience is going to be very different to what perhaps you might have seen in the past from last generation marketplaces and launches.
Amazing. Thank you, Aaron, for that insight. Dear audience, you heard it here first, unless you were at South by Southwest. And talking about insights, let's bring some insights from our amazing founders from the Futureverse Basecamp. So we're talking a lot about gaming and immersive experiences. Nilu, how big of a part of gaming development is building out lore consistent with characters and locations? I think we might have... Oh, we have to bring back Nilu as a speaker. So while I do that, so maybe I'm just going to quickly give the mic to Rect, and then we're going to circle back to Nilu. Alex, if I want to spice it up between friends, maybe a friendly wager, how can we ensure it's open and transparent? Please tell us,
sure.
and I'm going to bring back Nilu to the stage.
Yeah, sure. So let me describe first how Rect works actually. We take literally any real world data, any API, any data source, doesn't matter. We process them into metrics, and then our
Who's that question aimed at?
Sorry?
Oh, good.
Okay, fine. So we
Aaron's
process
rugging
all this data
hard
into
on this
metrics,
one.
and then our Rect Oracle generates a smart contract that represents a market. So this market is a smart contract itself, and smart contracts actually are open for everyone and transparent by definition actually. And during later stages, you will be able to enter our platform, like ask the bot, like what you want to wager and around what you want to wager. We process your request with AI and provide you a smart contract plus application on top of it to wager. So it's pretty simple. But smart
Amazing,
contracts
Alex.
itself, they are like open for everyone and transparent by definition.
Very smart indeed. Thank you, Alex. And I think we have Nilo back with us. So, Nilo, how can we make gaming development easier with some lore?
Yeah, so when you think of like IP and basically universes, the basic building blocks of a universe, the characters, the story, the relationships that you have with the characters in the story, and all of the basic lore and the world building, and all of that takes so long to make, and it basically means that games take like 7-8 years in development time just to build out the world and the environments. And like that's a big pain point for a lot of game studios and a lot of metaverses, which is why like a lot of them are quite engaged with us at the moment, because we help speed that up essentially. So one of the game designers told us they helped save over 8 hours of like building and brainstorming all of that content to basically help shrink their development costs and the development time, right? So now once you've built all the core rules of a world, you can give that and empower fans to basically build out their own personal arcs and their own personal storylines within the world that you have, which is like one of the reasons why like Wizarding World was like the Harry Potter game was such a major success, right? And the other thing is like we did a couple of prototypes with like existing IPs for like Dragon Age, for example, and people seem to really love it, and that has brought in a lot more studios who want to work with us in building out like consistent lore databases, which then can be sent to their like fans to engage and play with, right? Because those are fundamentally the building blocks of IP, and that's what we're helping game studios build.
All right, amazing. And I'm sure if there are gaming developers in the audience, they're super excited about making their life easier. So, gaming, immersive experiences, all that attention on the open metaverse concept. Adam, with so many brands, so much IP entering the open metaverse, why token payments soon might be as common as fiat payments, if not preferred?
Yeah, I mean, I think it will take a few years to get there, but I believe it will become true personally. I think the natural currency of a metaverse is digital. I mean, already, even today, like chains like Solana and some Ethereum L2s are already cheaper and more efficient than traditional payment rails, which have built on outdated technology, I think, from the 60s. And it's easier to send crypto across the world than it is to send fiat already. All right. So, in my opinion, it's kind of inevitable that will happen. It's a question of when, and I don't think it will be, within 2 or 3 years. But there's a lot of good data around 2030. This will be in very, very common usage, and I think more so in kind of metaverse and gaming, because user acquisition here is currently the most important thing to builders in this space, and I think tokens and digital currencies are going to be key incentives that bring people onto these platforms, and will move beyond this world where gamers are just treated as consumers. And this, I think, digital currencies can be the kind of knockout punch that brings people over to these new experiences. Where, let's imagine you've got two identical gaming experiences. One of them harvests your data and costs you money, and one of them respects your time and shares rewards with you. It's not hard to figure out which one of these is going to win in the end. And I think we'll also see an ecosystem where gamers are rewarded for their time, rewarded for their attention, and many of them will also become part of these worlds as
I'm here. I'm just
creators and
eating a burger,
contributors.
brother.
They'll make content. They'll create their own in-game fashion, in-game skins, selling their progress and characters that they create. And I think the digital currency is the natural way for people to be rewarded in those activities, and also trade between themselves. And I think it's just a matter of time before that happens.
I think these are great points, right? It's all about engaging the community, engaging the individuals, and making it a better experience for them. So, Mortis, I think Zoe is currently being rugged by the X app. So while we work out the technical kinks, I would love you to take the mic and tell us, is gaming the new way to engage communities and bring people together?
Yeah, for sure. So I believe gaming is we see as the new media. So if we were looking at the communities that like say companies that 10 years ago every company was becoming a digital company, and like a tech company 5 years ago, 6 years ago every company was becoming let's say a fintech company. Now we see this wave that all the companies are becoming gaming company. Why? Because they see that is a new kind of engagement layer, engagement mechanics. So look at all the brands we call Web2 brands, but I mean brands that all we know. They are entering inside the gaming because they see that they can engage more their customers. So let me just make an example. You see CMO of one of the biggest fashion brands. When you talk to them, they don't say just, for example, another fashion and luxury brand is their competitor. They say also Netflix or also YouTube are their competitors because they get their consumer attention. So they see gaming as a new frontier of the engagement because they can engage their customers. They can so the customer and the clients can spend more time with them, and in this case, of course, the monetization is the consequence. So if the person is using 1 hour each day a Gucci application, probably Gucci can do the monetization much better rather than if they use maybe 5 minutes per day just for a simple purchase. So we see that gaming is becoming a new media, a new channel for the brand, and everybody is entering the brand. Some examples, of course, one of the biggest examples here is about Futureverse with Ready Player One, Disney with Fortnite, and so this is I think that how we are seeing that the brand is evolving through the relationship with their customers.
Amazing. And Zoe, welcome back from being unrugged. Anything to add?
I totally agree with Mortis, and thank you to welcoming back on the stage. I was so ragged before, and before Aaron was saying, about the rag, I was afraid to say I was getting ragged because I didn't want to spread fat. But honestly, Twitter today is like crazy. I couldn't really hear, much about what you said before, but I've heard the last part of Mortis saying that brands like engagement and gaming especially is the new frontier of engagement, and that's really the future for brands. Did he mention the example of Nike, the website of Nike?
No, I think we just spoke about Italian brands.
Oh, okay. So just to make an example for Nike, usually a user on their website spends for a session like 5 minutes. And what they are noticing right now on their Roblox experience, that on an average, a user is spending 20 minutes over there. And what we do in Introverse for brands, it is exactly to bring that engagement back on the brand. That's why we also have these white label solution. And so those 20 minutes that are on the gaming platform, they are brought back on the main website because it's through gaming that they can, increase the spending time of that user on their own website. And that's why a lot of gaming companies and brands are getting in touch. And what we do in Introverse is to create quick activations, gaming activation, putting in touch templates, so gaming studios and brands. So yeah, I don't know if it's really fitting the question because I couldn't really hear completely the question, but I hope it makes sense.
It makes sense, and it's all about experience, right? And Hira, from community to individual, how can we improve the experience of users within each app across the metaverse?
Yeah. So Until now, we've been talking about engaging people through gamification, and that I agree 100%. Gamification is a great way to engage consumers, but there's actually another way that all the current social platforms engage users, and that's by showing them relevant content and giving them recommendations based on their interests. For example, on YouTube or on Netflix, they recommend you the movies or the shows or the music that you would be interested in. Similarly, on Facebook or on Twitter, the your feed is curated. Like each one of us has different feed because it's curated based on what we're interested in. But on Web3 platforms, that's not possible currently because nobody knows what the interests of a certain wallet are. And if we can link the interest or the reputation of a person or different aspects of a person with the wallet, then we can unlock all these new features that we've been seeing on the internet for almost 2 decades, but the features that are currently absent from Web3 platforms. So yeah, bring the people behind the wallet, link them to the wallet, allow them to express themselves on the chain, and that's when you will unlock better, more engaging experiences.
Couldn't say it better here. I couldn't say it better. And you know, individuals form communities beyond digital experiences. Because we have two arrows on the spaces, I'm going to designate one as Aaron Mintpass. How can we connect this digital realm to the real world experiences? All good with the audio?
Yo, people are going to be quitting these spaces. Holy, what a rough day.
Oh well, it happens. Got rugged again. We'll circle back to our little travel itinerary. Um, Carl, so when you travel or work from home, you need to stay in shape. How can digital humans and augmented reality help?
Yeah, so I think that's a big one to unpack, but there's multiple parts to it, and one of it is just being able to work out from anywhere on your own schedule. That's a massive part of it, and I think it's also about the scalability that Aaron touched on before. So it's really about just having it available to you 24/7 wherever you are, and also a big part of the shift in how we work today is working from home, and so now it's also about working out from home or wherever you're working. So just having that flexibility to be able to, just step away from your work and jump in to another world, or just in your living room and work out with a personal trainer. Like maybe it's even to, work on your computer desk neck and relieve some stress, and then step back into what you're doing without having to travel places, without having to work in with other people's schedules. It's just available whenever you need it.
Yeah, it's amazing. And you might not need to travel places, but you might want to travel places.
Yeah,
And
that's right.
Aaron Mintpass, as you travel in and out of the speaker seat, can you hear us now?
Well, I could hear you the whole time. I think. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
There we go.
So again, how can we connect digital experiences to the real world experience?
Yeah, we do this pretty simply at MinPass. Like, I'm sure a lot of us are familiar with POAP, but POAP is very not curated. It's simple and it has its use cases. I think we go beyond that and give you something that's a little bit more curated. So if for us, like if you're traveling, you're gonna want something that you remember from that location, right? Something personal to you. And so for me, the reason that Mint Pass stuck out to me originally and I jumped on board is I travel around the world and I collect newspapers from the different locations I go to. And eventually I wanted to cut them up and make a map with the pieces and headlines of the newspapers I have and put it on the wall. But for me to share that and to find that with other people is difficult. But with us, we can digitize the experience and give you something based on where you've been. So it's more curated, it's more personal. You get to customize it a bit. It's actually pertinent to where you went, and so we make it easy to get that That for me, it would be that newspaper and make it digital and share it with others.
That's amazing, Aaron. That's amazing. So you see, dear audience, the open metaverse is about the digital experience, but it also extends to the real world experience and the world we know and appreciate. It acts as an extension of the world we know and love. So while we're almost getting to the end of our amazing session today and all those insights, both Aaron from Futureverse as well as all the amazing founders from Futureverse Basecamp, I think we might have time for some questions from the audience, and I see some people already have their hand raised. Unfortunately, we only have one speaker seat available, so I'm going to be rotating. But I see Philip here.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
apparently
try to
Marco
give him
just
a speaker
tweeted out
seat.
about a meme coin. Can somebody
If you can
confirm
hear
or
us and maybe jump in with a
explain?
question.
Was that question for me?
No. There is a question from the audience, so it might be for you, but I'm just trying to connect one of the people that had their hand raised to a speaker seat. Let's see if it works, because as we all see, our little X space is a bit glitchy today.
What the heck is this?
But Aaron, I would also love to hear some closing thoughts from you based on all of those insights from our founders. In the end of the day, your vision encapsulates all of those use cases together.
Yeah, no, I mean, we've always said that we're not building the metaverse, you are. And I think today you can see, a really great cross-section of very high-quality founders who have made it through the grueling task of being selected, 1 in 500 to come into this program and to work with us to make that vision a reality. I'm so stoked that we have these teams building, connecting, and integrating with what we're doing, and hopefully, through what I've heard today, that we're providing the same kind of value back to them and opportunities to grow what they're doing, because that's really what it's all about. Think of the areas we touched on today, usability, storytelling, payments, the Vision Pro and what XR is going to mean, increasing utility for gamers or gameplay options for gamers. There's a huge array of things there that will bring value and life to the Futureverse ecosystem and what's been built on Root. So kind of thank you to you, the builders. I've been in your shoes. I'm in your shoes. I know how hard it is. And we're here to support you, and hopefully the community can get behind you too and help make your dreams a reality.
Thank you, Aaron. That's an amazing call to action for all the builders in the audience. And I think we might have the question from the audience. Philip, can you hear us now? Can you take the mic?
Yep, I can hear you now. And Twitter Spaces are indeed glitching a lot today. Thank you for bringing me on the speaker platform and giving me the mic for a second. I have a question that I wanted to ask to this amazing audience. So, this particular Twitter space has been strongly focused on metaverses that are gaming centric. And so, as we all know, in principle, a metaverse is not a game, right? It's a general purpose technology that uses a lot of technology that games also use, but for general purpose applications. So, my question is focusing so much on gaming um, the most powerful strategy for mainstreaming metaverses and metaverse uses? In my view, it isn't. I
think it's a good question, but I think that you're kind of halfway there in terms of your point, which is that gaming is a part of metaverse experiences, and so having tools that enable game mechanics. I think a bunch of the team have spoken today. If you look at like what the team's doing around engaging users in the domain of travel, has nothing to do with gaming, but it enables gamification of that travel experience. So I wouldn't say that's exclusively the focus, but it's very, very true that the biggest funnels for people coming into this space in the early stages of its development are people who are interested in immersive experiences. And our view is that, and the history has proven this, that if you want to get people into immersive experiences and you lead with something other than gaming, generally you fail. There hasn't been a successful social-led, metaverse experience out there yet that scaled to the kinds of scales that gaming-led ones do.
Second Life did
and
that.
So Second Life did it, but it still hasn't reached anywhere near what the gaming-led metaverse experiences have. And so if you're betting on something like that to be your anchor, then I think it's the wrong bet. Our view is that social experiences and other experiences emerge from engaged audiences, and engaged audience are more likely to be engaged if they're coming back in an exciting and immersive gaming experience. Having said all that, you're 100% right. So I don't want to argue with you in the long run. What you're saying is true. And our philosophy has always been that the metaverse, well, firstly, people can't build metaverses. That's like saying, I'm going to build an internet. There is only the metaverse. The second thing is that the metaverse for us from a architecture and philosophy point of view is primarily at the data layer. And so experiences, any kind of experience can be built on top of data that has been created in a way that is open and interoperable and allows users to carry all of the things that they value with them between different kinds of experiences. So, we talked today about plurality, for example, which is about taking your social data and your profile data with you, and that can build into any kind of experience. And then kind of lastly, what I would say is really what the metaverse ends up being is this thing called immersive convergence, which is where the disparate kinds of things that you used to do in the past in lots of different places become part of a singular user experience that is more immersive. And so the notion that there'll be, from a user's point of view, lots of things you can do is true, but they'll all feel part of the same immersive experience if we do our jobs right. So a lot of truth in what you said, but also I would disagree entirely that that's our focus. It's just that we think that the best way to bootstrap an ecosystem of consumers is to leverage what is already known to be successful. And so I'll kind of end on that. I've got to jump, but great question. Thank you for that.
So many great points, Aaron. And thank you, Philip, for the very, very incisive question. Adam, anything to add? I see your hand is up.
Yeah, I was just going to follow up from that. I think there's a lot of good sense there, and I think what Philip was saying there is that metaverse is ultimately this sort of more broad social experience. But then Aaron's, I think, also correct to say that gaming is the most likely candidate to lead that. And a good example is Fortnite, right? Like this started as just a team-based shooter, and has somehow through the power of bringing loads of people together becomes this open world social experience where actually people spend a lot more time just hanging out there in the lobby, flexing their fashion items and watching concerts and chatting. And the game is like kind of part of that now. So I think it's kind of the leader, and the gaming is the leader, but it will eventually become something else.
Amazing, great point. We do have to wrap it up here because I feel we can talk for ages, but we're already running widely over time. So you heard it here first. Interoperability, the open experience coming up as part of the Readyverse launcher, and of course the amazing Futureverse Basecamp. If you're a founder building in Web3, we Outlier Ventures currently have applications open for free Basecamp accelerator programs where you have the chance to work with our world-class subject matters and our amazing network of mentors, as well as receive up to 100K investments, real-world assets Basecamp, AI and crypto crossover Basecamp, Deepin Basecamp. Do not hesitate and check out the website. Apply today. It's never too early to talk to us. And who knows, you might find your way to the next amazing program and one day be here one of us with Spaces and connect with the amazing founders, because as you learned today, we are big on driving portfolio synergies and collaboration. So I want to thank Aaron for joining us today and talking with us and connecting with all of us in the cohort. And of course, big thank you to all those
Who's
amazing
here?
founders that we have with us today.
The
that are bringing
amazing
so much value to
founders.
the
There's so much value to the Futureverse ecosystem. Truly. All right, so that's going to wrap it up for that. I thought after we did the listen back to the 30 minutes max the other day, I thought that we would do that again today. Or sorry, hold on. Well, I mean, for the Outlier Ventures, but did 30 minutes max happen? Was it yesterday? Did I miss it? What's going on? There has to be something. Did we miss this week's session? Aw, sugar. Maybe they didn't have one. That's okay. Tomorrow, we have a very, very special stream set up. I am cooking Maga stream, and that is another sign that we are back, because this is something that I did a little bit back in the day. We did, if you can find the stream, it's still up there. It was a bunch of people that were in the Bored Ape community on day one, and it was about what they were into at the time. Like I'm talking like early, like within the first 2 months of it minting. And I'm like, okay, I want to take that concept and try to connect with other people within the space. If you ever seen Pat McAfee or kind of other shows where, you know, you have guests and stuff, I thought that it would be kind of cool. It's the first attempt at this in a while. I don't know how the flow of it is going to go. Hopefully it's just smooth and silky. Maybe we'll get a regularly scheduled panel later on at some point. Maybe this is going to be something where we do different guests every single Friday. But I'm yapping a hell of a lot here. Let's take dollars to go. Okay, then listen, I'm butchering it. I shouldn't even use that. I have the actual file where it's not going to look in low definition. Give me a second. Holy moly. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the promo for tomorrow's stream. You'll pay hundreds of dollars to go and see these conferences where people speak in person. However, I have a free opportunity for you. Come by my stream this Friday, 2 till 10 p.m. Shill the Shiller. Find out about different collections, hear NFT history from some of the best follows in the space. Here's what tomorrow's lineup is going to look like. This will also educate you if you think your ex profile will make the cut for people reading it out loud to really classify who you are. First up is Phil Fibaka, 31, husband, father, teacher, coach, musician at Bored Ape Yacht Club 1362 and 9835, and a part of Bored Media Group. So who the hell is Phil? He is the guy that originally tagged me in a post about Bored Ape Yacht Club. If the stream that we have that is history is anything, it's an appreciation for capturing the moment, and that moment would not have happened without Fibaka. We'll hear about his journey and reminisce of the times that were. Next up is Das Capitalist, building Capit and Company on Blastall 2, subsisting on Pirates, Taco Bell, and indie games. Once roasted by Matt Levine in Bloomberg. You've heard all the hype about Blast. What do they have that's more than just DeFi protocols? How about a game we're going to learn a little bit about Captain and Company that is launching on Blast? At 4 p.m., we have Tad from Forgotten Runes. Now, he's not a team member, but he is a very passionate community member. So let's see if he can shill the shiller and make us want to get into Forgotten Runes Wizard's Cult. For he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow of Jolly Bean Games. We got Boomer coming up at the 5 p.m. slot talking about what his Web3 journey has entailed, but also what in the heck is Jolly Bean Games. But don't forget the bio founder, 793 Capital, serial entrepreneur with 3 successful exits, and Punk 793. Arguably the greatest thread writer, historian that Web3 has ever saw. It's Da Vinci. Founder of six-figure blockchain consultancy, creating the first Twitter NFT library, digital art, and culture. Da Vinci is the man. We've had him on the show once before. Great insights, great discussion. Seems to be super caught up with everything and just a great individual. So I'm very excited to talk with him again. And if you are wanting to see him, pop by the stream at 6:30. Around the 7 o'clock mark, maybe a little bit later, 7:15, we are going to have Derek, co-founder of GG Uncharted, a gaming playground for degens at Gangster Arena, launching soon. Ex-Guild Guardians at Immutable. This was the last time we actually had Derek on. He was really, really heavily involved in Guild Guardians, so excited to see or catch up with him about what he's been doing. A member of Ready Player DAO and Wolves DAO. But Gangster Arena is a recently launched game that's getting a lot of attention, so let's see what all the hype's about. Yo, Dermy! AI solopreneur, parallel TCG and Web3 streamer, link below for instant access to the game. Yo, Jeremy is the man wearing many hats, super informed in the space, incredible parallel player, incredible friend, talking about the journey from day one, and he was in the stream with me while we minted apes as they were happening. Great insights with Yo Jeremy at 8 p.m. And last but not least, at Bill Doe Verde. They call him Bill Doe. Futureverse topic. We've been covering Futureverse a ton. I want you guys to be able to see us nerd out a little bit about it, find out how Bildo got into Futureverse, and kind of highlighting the recent events, including the AAA first of its genre metaverse game announced. It's going to be a banger with Bildo. So there you go, guys. That's going to be the lineup for this Friday's X Feed special stream. Maybe we'll get to it a little bit more. And I mean, maybe we'll do this as a weekly session, but this is the first go about it. If you're excited for it, be sure to set notifications on, and I will see you across my various social channels tomorrow. Truey, and well, Truey. All right, so that's going to be it for this quick little stream here. I was going to... I don't know what to say. I don't want to say that we're going to end up doing X Feed as well, but I need to prep a little bit for tomorrow. So we might have another stream later today. Hopefully that will tide you guys over. But excited for that, and I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your Thursday, and I will see you then. Peace.